GrandLAN video blog for books that came out on July 29th, 2009. As always, I'm Craig, your host. We're going to have 2 installments, but there's not a lot to talk about, so we just got probably 4 books in each installment. Sure seems like it was a really weak week, I guess. If you look at, generally the trend of months that have 5 weeks in them, they usually have some sort of great 5th week event, or at least something to sell people on the 5th week, because obviously comics have to be spread out over 5 Wednesdays instead of 4 in a month. It's kind of shocking when you see a 5th week come by and it's just so devoid of anything really. There's a few good books, but it's not like a normal week where you'd have a lot of stuff to talk about. So we're going to start right here. There's probably going to be short reviews. What can you say, right? Secret Warriors number 6. The first story arc wraps up here with Bendis and Hickman writing and Stefano Caselli on art. And again, it's the whole time I've been trying to hang on to Caselli's art, and it's just watercolory sort of, and it's good, but at the same time it looks like, when they make like a comic book out of a capture of a cartoon. Like if you look back to the Pride of the X-Men one shot, I know I'm kind of dating myself by saying this, but like the Pride of the X-Men pilot for the X-Men animated series, the first one, not the one that ran for years, but the pilot that never turned into a series. They made a graphic novel. It was pretty much just like screen captures from it, and everything kind of has this washed, faded animation look. That's kind of what Caselli's art reminds me of. It's not bad, it's just, I don't know if it really fits a book like Secret Warriors, where we have a nice kind of an underground war being fought amongst Nick Fury and his troops, and getting into obviously Hydra and the various groups that are operating around it. Regardless, this is a very fun book, and I felt when I got to the end of it, normally, I've spoken out against the idea that after the 6th issue, you should feel like you have a breather. I was looking for more of a breather, I was looking for something that was a little more definitive of a close. And at the same time, then, Hickman's interview recently, or right when the book came out about 5 months ago, Hickman's interview where he said, "Hey, I've plotted this through issue 50 already." It just rang in my head because that's exactly how it reads. Is here, there's 44 more to go. That's what it is. It just says that right from the get-go. That's exactly the type of feel you get from this book. Is there's so much more to cover. There's no time to just put us at a satisfying stop before we move on. Let's get some stuff going. And again, the dialogue between Fury and Dum Dum Dugan at the end, I know everyone's talking about it on the internet. It's very exciting to see what the direction of this book is going to be moving forward. There's a lot of different places they can go. Next up, Thunderbolts number 134. I was actually not going to review this, and our good friend Brad happened to point out to me that 133 had a great reveal, and I was very excited about it. The Black Widow from the Thunderbolts, Black Widow 2, is working for Nick Fury, which was a crazy, crazy twist. Now, that's obviously a month old. It's not so much a spoiler, but I said, man, you're right. 133 had a great ending, and he goes, 134 has another really good ending. You have to check it out. So I did, and this is, again, it's still a great book. I don't know why I don't automatically go to Andy Diggle's books, because they all really pay off pretty well. You get to see a little more of Songbird, a little more of the original Thunderbolts, Mach 4 and the Beetle hanging out. Some more of the Thunderbolts team in action, taking care of some stuff for Norman Osborn, and a nice twist at the end, like I said. It's going to be interesting to see where this book goes under the Dark Reign banner, obviously still there, big Dark Reign, because it has to be, it's Norman Osborn's team. But where this book goes from there is going to be very interesting. Whether this book is going to stay where it is, or if we're going to replace it with another team of Thunderbolts, who that team is going to be answering to, and where it's going to go from there, without saying too much. 2 really good books, both featuring Nick Fury. Coincidence? I think not. Blah! Ultimatum number 5 is here. Finally. It's over. And that's about the only good thing I can say about this. I'm sorry, guys. I don't get Jeff Loeb. Maybe I'm missing it. Maybe it's just all going over my head. I can't justify this book. Obviously, my friend Anthony actually said it best. He called it a snuff film, and that's exactly what it is. It's just an excuse to kill every character we possibly can. And for this book, I'm sure there's spoilers already everywhere, and I'm really kind of immune to worrying about the spoilers for this book. So big fight with Magneto. Magneto uses Iron Man's armor and Cyclops' visor to point them both at Wolverine to kill him, and he's still not dying. He's just like bubbling flesh on a skeleton, and then Magneto pulls the adamantium out of said bubbling flesh, and that somehow miraculously kills Wolverine. In the meantime, then Magneto is confronted by Nick Fury, who has a gun. Even though a team of superhumans couldn't stop Magneto, Nick Fury just walks up and says, "Hey, mutants don't actually exist. They're not the next step of evolution. They're just here. I created them. I helped create them. They're a side effect of the Super Soldier Project, you know." And then Magneto is on his knees and crying, and, "Oh, I can't believe it." And then Cyclops executes him by shooting him through the head with his optic blast. So then in the epilogue, if you will, Cyclops calls for all mutants to surrender to the authorities, and then instantly gets shot by a sniper's bullet. So then all the other mutants run away. Now, in the back, really all you need to know is the last page. So if you go to a comic shop that'll let you open it up and look at the last page, just look at the last page. I'm sure the list is already online anyway. You know, Spider-Man's missing in action. None of the Fantastic Four actually died. Oh, Thing crushed Doctor Doom's head. Whoop-de-doo. Again, just a snuff film. That's all it is just scenes of people dying so that the Ultimate Universe can be shocking and new, even though it's just, they kept half of the characters. You know, you just throw out half the characters and you start over. Is it really like, it reminds me a lot of, let's go with a wrestling analogy. I know some of you are wrestling fans, some of you are not, but, you know, every year when the WWE draft comes around, you know, they move 3 or 4 people so you can say, "Oh, look, Magneto's dead, Professor X is dead, and Wolverine's dead." It's a brand new thing. But at the same time, like, to get the numbers up to say, okay, you know, we've done all of these deaths, you know, they go for the C-listers. So, you know, you look at the WWE draft, they move like 2 or 3 main eventers, and then they move a bunch of mid-card guys that it really doesn't matter where they are. And then everybody says, it's all shaken up, and really it hasn't changed at all. And that's how I feel about Ultimatum. It's awful. You know, I guess if you're looking for a snuff film, you know, if you're just looking for characters to die and you're looking for OMG moments, I guess, it doesn't even feel like that. Because if you go to Newsarama the day after this comes out and read the X-Men Requiem preview, Shadowcat's breaking into S.H.I.E.L.D. and discovering Wolverine's arm with claws still on it, like they're going to reanimate Wolverine or they're going to do something. So he's not dead. He's coming back. I mean, he was in the ground one day before the preview went up to show that he's, you know, coming back. Like, what's the point of that? Why even bother at this point? Of course, it's Jeff Loeb, so he won't tell us the identity of reanimated Wolverine after selling us an entire series on the idea, right? I'm kidding. Wolverine Noir number 4. Speaking of Wolverine, this is some good Wolverine. This wraps up, and without a doubt, absolutely the best noir series that there has been. Just such a phenomenal story from so many different angles. You need to check this out. I can't even do justice to describe this, because if you haven't read the first 3, you know, you're going to be lost if I tell you what happens in this, and there's no sense in me telling you what happens. But absolutely, get this in trade, get this in hardcover, get this in 4 single issues if you can find a store that still has them. Get this however you can. It's a phenomenal Wolverine story. You know, I know, you know, accolades are being thrown on Old Man Logan and all of that, but this is definitely a great idea for Wolverine, a great noir series. And I'm really excited to see that some of the noirs are getting sequels. X-Men Noir just had a sequel announced. I don't know if they can do a sequel to this, but it'd still be really fun. It's a great 4 issues all the way around. There's nothing else to say about it. Thank y'all for watching. Stay tuned for part 2 for the DC books.